Hi art fans, we're back together for another week's work, and this time we're going to talk about symmetry and a symmetrical design. As you remember, a design that is symmetrical is the same on both sides. If you draw a line down the middle of the design, each half would look exactly the same as the other. Let's get started on how to create our name design in symmetry. So you have received a piece of good white drawing paper in your packet and you're ready to begin. As always with me, I like to kind of practice or do a little sketching on scrap paper before I begin. So I kind of advise that if you have computer paper to try it out before you commit to the good paper. And here's how we're going to begin. So the very first thing you need to do is fold your paper in half, long ways, hot dog style, and crease it nicely. And there you go. Now, this is a simple project in some ways, and it kind of brings up around the point of being creative and coming up with details and ideas and letting your imagination go, which is fun and appreciated at this time. And it's also good for understanding the concept of symmetry, when two things on either side are exactly the same. And we did a lot of talking 4th and 6th grade about symmetry when you were doing your tribal masks. So this won't be too far off. So here we go. We're going to use your name as the basis for this design. And most of you should know cursive. You can also do print as long as you connect your letters. So I'm going to do it two ways. One in cursive, and then I'll show you how to do it with printing, and we'll go from there. All right, so the first thing that I suggest after you fold your paper in half long ways is to take a ruler, and I use the edge of my paper. We're not going to be ultra fancy here, and I'm going to line up the edge of the paper with the edge of the ruler, and I am going to draw a line. This is slightly above, I don't know if you can see that very well, it's slightly above center, okay? And that's what you need to start with, just a very light line. All right, so for those of you that know, my name is Kathy, so I'm gonna start off, of course, with a capital C. Now, here's the tricky part. How far over do I start to allow room for all of my letters? And this is why I recommend you try it on scrap paper first, okay? So, I'm just going to start with my C, and I'm going to touch the bottom fold, and I'm going to come up, okay? The next thing I'm going to do, and this is where that line comes in that you've just drawn, we're going to do my next letter, which is an A, and come back down. I'm touching the bottom. Next is T, and I'm coming up. And I know in cursive there's that really cool loop right there. And then I'm coming up. Now here's my trouble. I have a Y that has a tail that would go off the page if I wrote it the same way. So if you have a letter that goes off the paper, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna draw it up high, above the line, and I'm gonna leave room for my tail, and I'm gonna go off the page, or almost off the page. Well, I kind of got it just right in terms of spacing. My H looks a little skinny, but I'm not gonna worry about that. And yes, it is important to connect the letters. So I'm gonna go back, and anywhere I haven't really connected very well, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna add a curly Q here. There we go. So now I have written my name on a folded piece of paper. What you might do at this point then is take a black marker or a fat Sharpie, and you're going to outline your name in black. This time I'm going to be really smooth, and I'm going to go around. Boom. All right. Try to keep your hands steady as you can, and keep going till you get it all outlined. Boom. And done. As we usually do with marker tracing, is go back in then and erase any pencil marks you don't need. Got it? All right. That is step one, not too hard. If you can't get the spacing, you just got to keep working at it until you get it right where you want it to be. Once you get it right on the scrap paper and you like it, you can even use that to transfer to the big paper. I'll show you that in a minute, or the good paper, I should say. All right, so really quickly, I'm going to get another piece of paper here and show you how I would do it printed. All right, so I would again take my ruler and draw my line. I'm going to line that ruler up against the edge so that this is a straight line. Very lightly, little bump there, go across. And then I'm going to draw a C. I still want it to come up a little off the page. I'm going to do an A, T, H, and remember, because my Y would go below the paper, off the paper, I'm going to put it up high. And then when I'm done with my Y, I'm just going to do that because I can. Then when you have it printed, then you're just going to take and you're going to extend until you connect, okay? It doesn't have to be ultra fancy, but this is going to be tricky. I'm going to go all the way up here. There we go. My letters have been connected, and that's how it would look with a printing. All right, what are some of these other letters that hang below the line? A P, a J, I'm trying to think, a G. So remember, jump up and make the tail hit the bottom of the page. All right, let's see what's next. Now I have my name written and I've traced it in marker. And now comes the crazy part. You're gonna find an open window area in your home because we're gonna use that window like a light box that you can use to trace. So here's the front side. I'm going to turn it over and you can see that with the marker, I can see my name. I'm gonna put just a little bit of tape that I can get off the window. I'm not rubbing it down, just to hold it. I'm putting it in a space in between. And then with a pencil, you are going to trace what you have just done in marker. You see how you can see through? Trace very carefully. All right, you get the idea. Whoa, that's important to me, so I'm gonna go back. I got a little crazy there for a moment. There we go. And I'm gonna continue on until I finish tracing my name in pencil. Come back and get those little areas that you missed. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. And that is how you use a window as a tracing light box. All right, so I have my name that I've just taken off the window, and as you can see, I now have a mirror image of my name. All right, so your next step will be to go ahead using your Sharpie or a marker and go ahead and outline your whole name. And then when we're finished with that, we're going to consider the design in an upright position or in the other direction, because we are going to see what we can see to create a bug or a creature out of this symmetrical name design. So I'm going to outline and then we'll join up again. My whole design is now traced with black marker, and it's time for me to put my creativity and my imagination to work, and you as well. So what you're trying to do, much like laying out in the yard and looking up at the clouds and seeing what kind of creature you can spot in the cloud shapes, we're going to take a look at your symmetrical name design, and you're going to say, is there any areas that look like eyes, nose, and mouth? I considered it in this direction, and I have considered it in this direction. And here's what I have to say. This could be developed as eyeballs that kind of look frowny, and then I could add extra eyebrows to kind of accentuate that. This could kind of be almost like a bat mask with the eyes showing. or some kind of a mask, okay? This spot would be a great place to add fingers for hands, yes? And I would go on down and say, oh, a button, colorful button, colorful button. This I can add pencil marks to and make shoes. You know those kinds of shoes that genies wear that have the little tassel up on the toe? All right, that would work. So that's one possibility. Now, if I flip it upside down, these would also make excellent eyeballs. And I could add some antennas up here. This, even in here, I could draw a line across and draw some teeth in there. Yeah, this could also be hands. I can just add some extra marks to create fingers, yes? So on and so forth. And as I move down, I can add to make shoes and color these other part as clothing or an outfit of some sort. Add some details. If this is some kind of an alien, then we might want to add some designs to enhance his outfit. Could you have a double mouth? You sure could. I've got this little bitty mouth up here with teeth, but I could have a larger mouth here. So this is the real challenge of this project. What are you going to do? What do you see? And how are you going to develop your symmetrical name design? You have to consider it both ways to come up with the best design. If you have the time and you're really interested in making this great, you could do several name traces on a piece of computer paper, pieces of computer paper, and try a couple of different designs until you come up with your very best. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to choose a side and I'm going to develop this drawing to show you what I'm looking for in the end. This is a true test of your creativity and how far you're willing to go to come up with excellent details. And as you can see, it's completely symmetrical. What you have on this side is what you have on that side. So I'll come back to you in just a few minutes to show you what I've come up with, and then I will be looking forward to see who's really tapping into their deep creative instincts to come up with something pretty fantastic. All right, we'll visit soon. My first example for you is an alien. And so I kind of added eyebrows and a little tuft of crazy hair, some little pattern here, polka dots. I have his nose, and I've colored in this part of his face to kind of either look like his skin or a little mask. He has a very big mouth, and I added lips around the outside, and I thought because he's an alien, he might have a pair of extra eyes. Then I kind of used this section here to be a shirt, and you see I outlined on either side of the black line and gave him some hands and even nail polish, if you can see it on your video. And then I have a pants section, and his tummy's showing a little bit right here. I used the skin color to kind of fatten the legs, and I've made this into those genie shoes, but they have a little spin on tennis shoes with the soles and the ties. Now, I didn't color this shoe because I want to remind you of an easy way to color that'll make your work look neat. And that is to use the line method side by side when you're in a space, and use the marker to work for you instead of scribble coloring, okay? How do you do that? You're gonna take the flat edge of your marker. You're gonna kind of hold it flat to the page so you're getting a fat line, and then you're just gonna put them side by side by side until you complete. Now, if you're holding your marker more upright, you're gonna get a skinny line, and that'll take you forever to do. So the secret is to use a tilt to the marker so that you can get the fattest line possible. And when you do that, you're not only coloring fast, but you are also coloring efficiently. Now, when I come back, if I have any little white spaces, I'll touch them up. And then I would outline, using the tip to outline here. And I'd add that little line and put the sole of his genie shoes. You got to get some traction if it's slippery out. And then I would do the stitching again. So here is an example of how to do an alien. All right, so now I'm going to take my name design and turn it the other way on a different drawing and show you a second idea. Remember, the key here is your imagination and what you see in the design that your name makes. All right, I'll be right back. And here is my second design. The same name, of course. I just turned it the other direction. And I kind of wanted to make this more into a bug and really focused on using the C in my name to make some big eyeballs. Of course, he has yellow teeth. And don't forget, you can add pattern, color on color, some extra lines, polka dots. It's what makes it happen. And I chose a green color scheme here because it seemed insect-y to me. I added some stingers and some crawly little feet. And so here is my solution to my drawing facing the other way. And so this is my name. One way and the other. Okay, and it just shows you how you can change it up by the direction in which you decide to go. This way or this way. I had a lot of fun doing this. I hope you do too. Remember, the key here is creativity. So really go out of your comfort zone and make some bold choices, use some patterns, some bright colors. I'm excited to see what you come up with. It's going to be great. So have a great week. Enjoy the sunshine. I think we're going to be seeing more of it. And share your creations on the portal. Love y'all. Bye.